Welcome back. Thank you for joining me on this glorious and amazing day. What to do with the winter blues when things could feel sometimes depressing. Talking about it will just make you worse. Although you feel good temporarily, to talk to a friend how miserable it is, now cold and freezing, and you hate it, you can't stand it. You know yourself what it makes you feel like afterwards. Let's go to number two. Number two is, at least for me, even if I was in a warm house, there are times, especially when the weather is 32 degrees, 0 for Celsius, 32 for Fahrenheit. Sorry for not explaining. And at home, the temperature is beautiful, but when it's cold and rainy and icy and even snowy, even though the temperature at home could be 74, could be 23 or so Celsius, I always felt like my bones were cold, like I never felt like warm, like in that summer you just feel so deeply relaxed. A very simple idea is immerse in a bath of hot water, and you could have or very calming music or candles on, and just not to be with your phone. Just forget about the world and just let your body warm up. That's something very simple. Not only you could do it for the winter, but you could do it as well anytime when you're stressed out, for the heat really, really warms you up. Number three, the third thing that I do, this is very, very simple, and this again works with the subconscious mind. Usually I like it more in March time, but even if it's December, January, or February, I try to find at home, usually it's in the afternoon, evening, afternoon right before the sun sets, if I could get an hour, or if I'm home for lunch, whenever it is, I would take off my shoes and socks, take a comfortable chair, or turn around a small couch right to the window where the sun is shining. Just close your eyes, even if the sun is not hot, because I don't feel it hot till March, as I mentioned before. Just let the sun be on you. You can't really do it outside because you're cold. Sometimes you could do it outside if it's not that cold. But when you're indoors and the temperature is 72, plus you have the sun shining, and then within number three, I add something at times, not always. I add something that I actually put a drop of suntan lotion. I put a drop of suntan lotion so my nose could sniff it. So I'm sitting there and bare feet, like as if I'm sitting by the beach. You want to put something comfortable under your feet, a carpet, a rug. Feel very comfortable, very relaxing, comfortable clothing. Let the sun just sit on your forehead, on your face, and then with a little bit of suntan lotion, it does affect you in a positive way. There are times that even in the cold weather, when you're indoors, sitting by the window, you actually can feel your forehead, your face warming up from the sun. Number four, this will be a little bit of a 180 now. Number four, let me go to number four. Number four is, if you can, a lot of people have a busy schedule and they can't, but if you can, immerse in winter activities. Many cities have snow tubing, have sledding. If you're skillful and you know skiing, whatever it might be, enjoy doing things in the snow, or if you don't mind to act like a child, build a snowman. Do activities in the snow, which means that you despise, that you resist. There are some beautiful parts within it, and especially if you get dressed warm, there's a great deal of it. Snow tubing is a lot of fun. Sledding is a lot of fun. Being with kids is a lot of fun within the outdoors as you're enjoying it. This is just a little psychological sort of game. Most people tell me, you know what, winter is absolutely miserable. It's so dark. It's so dark. And I didn't notice till I think I was 35, because then as I grow older, I become more and more analytical. And what I have actually noticed, depending where you are, it's a few days or a few weeks. In Toronto, it's usually a week. New York, it's about a week. In Florida, it's I think 2 weeks or more. Depending where you are in the cold weather, the sun, are you ready for this one? A lot of people don't know this. The sun actually begins to set later in the winter, which means in the afternoon you have more sunlight in the winter. The darkest time is November and half of December, the end of November and December. When people say winter is so dark, that is simply not true. Fall is extremely dark. Winter becomes bright. What makes us happy and sad is not always what's around us, but what's in our brain. And if you go around and believing and thinking that winter is dark when it's not really dark. I know the mornings are dark, definitely, especially till beginning of January, when only January it changes. It became my default to know. I just know what time is sunset every day. It's like when you know what day it is and you know what you're eating, you know what you ate. It's part of my routine and I memorize it very well because when it comes the day in December that there's an extra sunlight by 1 minute, I go, wow, we have 7 extra sunlight minutes this week. That's so exciting. And then when we have an extra 5 minutes in January, then I go, wow, another 35 minutes of sunlight this week. I'm focusing on what I like. I'm focusing the fact that winter comes in. And before winter already begins to come in, I'm looking at sunset and I see it getting lighter and lighter. I'm looking forward for brighter and beautiful days. And could you imagine? My neighbor next to me is sitting there and saying, oh, why is winter so dark? Why is winter so dark? Winter gets lighter and lighter, sometimes day by day, but definitely week by week, or sometimes every 2 days. We will continue on with the last 2 activities or pieces of advice that I do. But till then, enjoy every moment. Thanks for listening.